Hi, welcome back. I'm Joe, and this is the Ultimate Love Letter. And thank you for joining the conversation. I am recording from Amsterdam, and I have been getting literally lost in life the entire time. So that is the inspiration behind today's conversation. Allowing yourself to be lost in life and trusting that you are being shown something. So to begin, we left Germany 2 nights ago, bound for Amsterdam. And there were only 2 trains leaving Germany at the time that we were leaving. The first one, we arrived at the train station in perfect time to board. We had enough time to go grab a bite before boarding the train. As Aaron went to go grab food, what I noticed, our train that was set to depart at 7:05, no, it wasn't 7:05. It was 1:05 p.m., arrived 5 minutes early at 1 p.m. So I quickly phoned Aaron and was like, hey, the train is here. It's early. Like, let's go. And he arrived back at the platform in perfect timing. We hopped on board. And as we were scurrying to find our seats, Aaron encountered a conductor to inquire about where we're to sit. We saw that our seats were taken, and immediately the conductor said, "Oh, you're on the wrong train." In that very instant, the train was moving. And so on we were headed to some unknown city an hour away in the opposite direction of our intended destination. And in that moment, we could have easily become frustrated. But we know better. We understand that life is really serving us up for a grand experience, for a grand journey. And so we decided to go with the flow, which is exactly what we were discussing in our last conversation. Go with the flow. So as we took a seat on the floor, we immediately said, okay, well, clearly God wants to show us something. What is it that we're being shown in this moment? And as we just kind of giggled at each other, talked crap to each other, playfully, we immediately organically just started talking about all our creative projects. I've just recently put out a 3-step guide to manifesting your dreams. And we were discussing that and a revision being made to the last page on that guide. And we were also discussing our next project, which is another book that we're creating together. And before I knew it, we were off in this creative momentum, bouncing ideas off each other, writing, outlines for the next book, diving deeper into what everything meant. And when I paused for a moment to look around and just see what I was seeing, just to experience everything, I noticed, oh my goodness, we are on this luxurious train going to an unknown place. But what we're seeing is beautiful countrysides. We're actually offered a moment to kind of just sit and create, a moment where we otherwise wouldn't have had we boarded the train that we thought we wanted to board, well, the ones that we intended to board, we wouldn't have been offered, all this time to kind of just be together and be in the flow and experience the beauty that's found within just letting life unfold the way it needs to and responding to that unfolding with grace, with excitement. Excitement because you don't know what's to come now. We didn't know where we were going. In fact, we had never heard of where we were going. We didn't even know how to pronounce the city we were going to. But we didn't care. We were up for an adventure. And here's the beautiful thing. As we responded to getting lost in life with just this joy and peace and expectancy of something great, that is actually what came about it. We created some beautiful writings on that train ride of an hour just getting lost. We had some pretty deep conversations with ourselves. Once we arrived to this city that I couldn't even repeat it now if I tried, I can't recall the name. Once we arrived there and exited, it was only another 5 minutes before the next train came and was taking us right back to Frankfurt. And as we jumped on that train going back to Frankfurt so that we can now catch the next train on, we were still in that creative flow. Now we're sipping, we're having wine, we're even more playful, we're even more giddy. We're just thinking about the testimony we have about that one time when we boarded the wrong train in Europe and how we responded to it in such playfulness. We didn't snap at one another. We didn't withdraw and become cold. We actually opened up to the unknown. We said, well, we're here now. What can we work on? Also, God, what else are you trying to show me? And God showed me there is a way when you're on a long train through Europe, there is a quick way to know which train you're on. And that is right at the entrance to your right. There's a screen that tells you the train number. Duh. Usually I'm always just waiting on the conductor to guide me. I've been on a few trains through Europe and I've always just asked somebody and that has served me well. But this time there was no one around. So I just thought, hey, it showed up a little early. Let's get lost. Another thing is trains will come within 2 minutes of the next train arriving. Doesn't mean they're going in the right place. The same place means they're using the same entrance and exit tracks, but they're off to another part of the world. So God showed me how to make sure I'm refining and understanding the train system. That's what he also taught. But what he did, more importantly, for me was showing me that I am who I say I am. When we are conversing on our platform, we're talking all about God's love, God's guidance, God's protection, his peace over our life. It's one thing to say that on a platform. It's quite another to actually live that in real life and to live it in real life when adversity comes, when opposition comes, when you were intended to go one place, but God said, psych, you're going someplace else. How we respond to everything that's unfolding in the moment will decide what happens in the next moment. For us, on the wrong train going in the opposite direction, we just enjoyed it. We got busy on our projects during that moment. We were in awe by what we were seeing outside the windows, the different homes and neighborhoods and wildlife. We were inspired by it all. God wasn't trying to hurt us. He was trying to serve us an experience that we would have never seen otherwise. And not only geographically speaking, but just spiritually speaking. Can you remain in grace and in trust. When you are lost in a foreign land, can you trust that God is still guiding? That God is just trying to show you something? That is the thing. And as we relaxed, guess what happened? Remember the 2 trains I said that were leaving? Once we pulled back in to Frankfurt, there was like 10 minutes before the direct train, the last direct train going into Amsterdam would leave. So now we're right there in the perfect space, on time, because God is always on time, to catch the direct train to your destination. There were no trains, by the way, traveling the next day, which is why we were traveling on that day. We left Germany, almost a day earlier because of maintenance happening on the tracks. There would be no trains the following day. The following day, which was the intended day of arrival, which actually turned out, if you listen to our last conversation, we were hoping to leave a day earlier. And so God served that. We did leave a day earlier. But within the transition, within the detour, was yet another detour that actually served this beautiful moment. And so we arrived safely in Amsterdam, right on time, and with beautiful projects ready to just flourish that would have otherwise maybe not come about so soon. We have an idea. We know the next book that I'm writing. And even though Aaron and I have been bouncing ideas off each other for the last few weeks, the detour with the train ride served for a beautiful, relaxing moment to kind of just, let's pump it out now. Let's get some words on a page here. Let's really get this going. If we wouldn't have boarded that train, I wonder where we'd be with that project. Probably still waiting for the next quiet moment for us to sit down and produce. But God said, I do you one better. You're going to produce now as you're traveling through Europe. I'm going to give you the time and the space now and the creative energy and insight to get this going, because this too is a part of the plan. This too is in alignment with me. That is what God did. And we chose not to fight against it. We were lost again just yesterday. We're not doing this on purpose, by the way. But we were lost again just yesterday. We rented a boat because we wanted to just be on the canals. I've been to Amsterdam. This is my second time, and I wasn't on the water at all the first time I arrived. So this time I really wanted to have the whole experience. So that meant renting a boat and being on the water, having a beautiful lunch and just taking in the sights. And we decided to take a boat out for ourselves. We didn't want a captain. We didn't feel like we need one, right? Let's just take a romantic boat, just you and I. And we were given a paper map. And off we sailed into the canals. And as we're enjoying, the hustle and the bustle of Amsterdam, which is one of my favorite cities in the world, the different cafes and the coffee shops and the bars and the restaurants and the people watching and the other boats and just all the beautiful sights that we're taking in. Before we knew it, we were in a neighborhood that we had never seen before. It was silent. There were hardly any boats. And we looked at each other and we were like, where did all the people go? Like, where are we? And it's almost in that moment where the map, I'm not even kidding, flew out of the boat. And it was like, okay, where are we? Can we pull over the boat? Do we turn around? Where do we park the boat? But of course, we said all that in playfulness because we know we've been here before. We know God yet again is just trying to show us something that we would have otherwise had missed, right? Because when you come to Amsterdam, what do? You stay in Amsterdam Central. Outside of the friends that I'm visiting while I'm here, I stay in the center. I want to be where the tourists are, right? But really, I do want to be and see what the locals see. And so that is where we found ourselves. We found ourselves in residential neighborhoods and by their universities and the local hangout spots for the locals. We saw grand ships that look like pirate ships. We saw, in other words, another side of Amsterdam that we would have never, ever seen, that was not on Get Your Guide or Viator or any of that. It was an authentic, genuine experience. We actually even traveled upon what looked like a forest. Like, where's there a forest in Amsterdam? Like, I don't understand. But that's what God does. And the map flying out was so playful when you think about it. Like, it was like God, like life said, oh, please, the map, please. Just relax. You're on the water. What do you see? What are you experiencing? What are you feeling? Just go. Go with the flow. Let us be your guide, is what I felt God was saying. Let us be your guide. Let me show you something. And boy, did he yet again. So I want to encourage you. Can you get lost in life and get playful with it? Actually have fun with it? Or do you need to draw out a rigid map and stick according to the plan, the A, B, and C, and that's it? And do you get pissed when it goes against the plan? If you do, if you're holding on that tightly, let me be the first to tell you, you are missing out on something far more expansive. The divine knows better than you. It is attempting to show you something you would not normally have seen if it's just left up to you. When you are lost in life, that is your moment to thank God and just turn to God and say, great, where do we go now? What is it that you want to show me? I am living proof. I have been lost 2 days in a row now, and I have zero regrets. In fact, I am better because of it. I want to get lost again, but now it's like I'm making it up. Go with the flow. Get lost in life. Don't panic. Stay calm. Stay in grace. And here's the thing. Focus in on what you see in this moment. Some of our most profound moments is when we were in uncertainty, not knowing where we were going, but we just focused in on what was in front of us. When we look back now at those moments, it is like, oh my God, I did that. One example, the example of our life is we were in Bali for New Year's Eve, 2022 going into 2023. And we had never been to Bali before. And this particular day we were on a scooter. It was pouring down rain. And we were like in the rice fields, in the jungle. It was dark out. And you could only see flickering lights from lanterns and maybe homes in the distance. But the rain, just something about the aesthetics just was so incredibly magical. And it was nothing but God that was saying, look around. What do you see? Like you will never have this moment again. You are safe. You are protected. Can you enjoy this moment? When Aaron and I think back to Bali, that is our favorite memory. We had the time of our life. Simply getting lost in life in an unknown country, in an unknown forest, on an unknown moped. But we know who our security is. It is God. I'll repeat that. It is God. So can you allow yourself to get playful when you're lost in life? Because really that's where God wants us. He wants us on the edge. He wants us depending on Him only. With that being said, I'm about to go out and get lost in Amsterdam just a little bit more. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. I just need to share these experiences with you. I just intend on encouraging all of us just to live a little bit more free. There's really nothing to fear. If you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify, you have a treat. Amsterdam is behind me, and you will be able to see right now just the authenticity of the city. If you watch this video at this point, you'll know exactly what I mean. It's kind of a little inside joke. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. Be free, get playful while you're lost in life. We have, as I said, I've released a free ebook, 3 Steps to Manifesting Your Dreams. And even though these are quite honestly the 3 steps that I've taken to manifest the freedom that I have now, opposition does come up while you're going after your dreams, while you're in this 3-step process. And that is where most of us usually get lost, give up, and retreat back from achieving our dreams. This is where I recommend a mentor, a life coach, someone that can step in and encourage you, beckon you on through the other side. I am able and willing to be that for you, which is why I'm also gifting free 15-minute one-on-one conversations to just encourage you, to remind you of the limitless being you are and remind you on what you deserve. Take advantage of that. The book plus the one-on-one conversations. They are certainly for a limit of time. I'm here to serve. How can I serve you? If you haven't found us on YouTube, please visit us on YouTube at The Ultimate Love Letter. We'll have that in the show notes. Also, we'll have in the show notes how to download the ebook. And with that being said, next stop, Betty. So I will see you there. Until next time, love yourself and love others. We'll chat again soon. Bye for now.